Hello everyone. So, I would like to make a Hardened Scales deck. And you might be wondering why Hardened Scales now? Well, you see in Crimson Vow we've received a particular card that I was interested in playing with that benefits from the accelerated counter gain, and that happens to be Voice of the Blessed. I know people have been already trying Voice of the Blessed in various kinds of Lifegain decks, but I'm actually surprised to see no one has tried Hardened Scales from the looks of it. Or at least I haven't seen a version playing along with it. Of course, the reason to play Scales is so that we can reach the full potential of this card as soon as possible. So let's get building. Go to Historic. Now let's start with the obvious card choices here. We need 4 copies of Voice of the Blessed. We also need 4 copies of Hardened Scales. And I would actually like to play this in a lower shell, so in we go. And also, since we're in Selesnya, there is really no reason for us to not play Enclave Mentor. So let's put 4 copies there. Okay, so let's put in some ways to trigger some life gain, shall we? Gain life. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I don't think we want to play this. This does seem pretty similar to what we're trying to do, except you have to pay more mana. Yeah, we probably want 4 copies of Lunarch Veteran. And of course, Soul Wardens. So in we go. Okay, what about Prosperous Innkeeper? It's 2 mana. I mean, it's probably good. Let's put some copies in there as well. Okay, what about this card? Traveling Minister. 1 mana, 1/1, Human Cleric. Target creature gets +1 until the end of turn. You gain 1 life. Activate only as a sorcery. But you have to also tap itself. I mean, let's just put it in here. If we do need additional 1-draw, we'll play. But I think those will probably cut at the end. Okay, now then we need some redundancies. And what I mean by redundancies is that we need some more creatures like Voice of the Blessed. First, the obvious choice here would be a Johnny's Pridemate. Then we can also play Trilasara as well. Since Trilasara is a legendary, so I'll go down a copy. I don't think I'll add the full 4 copies of it. Since we aren't really looking to combo off like the Lifegain Squirrel deck is trying to do, I think having multiple copies of Trilasara sitting in our hand, due to being legendary, will do us no favors. So for the benefit it's getting, trying to get some scries off, I don't think it's necessary to have full 4 copies of it. So we'll just only play 3 copies. So we just want more creatures on board that grows quick and hit them hard before our opponents combo off. Okay, so we got some room here. What else do we want to add? Since we are playing Hardened Scales, let's start off with a copy of Ozolith. Oh, and let's not forget about Luminar Gasperin here. Also, we do need some removals as well. Okay, so after taking a look at some choices here, I have narrowed down to Portable Hole, Baffling End, Declaration in Stone, Faithful Absence, and Dromoka's Command. And I think we should play Dromoka's Command because of its synergy with our deck, being able to put counters. Also, it's just a really good card with a lot of options. Oh, and lastly, I do want to play some copies of Wild Shape in here. Just because our creatures tend to get really big, we do want some ways to trample over. And it does allow us to protect our creatures as well. So it's now time to cut some cards. So looking at our curve, I would like to play 22 lands. So let's cut 2 copies of lands here, but we're not going to touch the mana base just yet. Alright, so we do have a lot of 2-drops here from the looks of it. And I'm kind of leaning towards Prosperous Innkeeper for our first cut. Let's go down onto copies of this. The thing about the Innkeeper is that it's a 2 mana, and we probably don't need this much life gain in the first place. We do play 4 copies of Soul Warden and 4 copies of Lunarch Veteran. Let's go down on Dromoka's Command. I think Traveling Minister is probably getting the cut here. What should I cut for our last card? I think it's gonna be between a Johnny's Pridemate and a Conclave Mentor. Okay, I'm actually gonna cut a copy of Pridemate, but if I seem to be lacking in threats later, I think I'll switch them around. Now let's do this finishing touch here. Let's change up the land base. So looking at Voice of the Blessed, we do need to have a white mana on turn 1 and a white mana on turn 2. So we do want our dominant color to be white. So with that in mind, let's add in 4 copies of Temple Garden, 4 copies of Sun Petal Grove, and 4 copies of Pathway. Okay, what about Overgrown Farmland? In our deck, our curve is just 1-drops and 2-drops, right? So you really want turn 1 and turn 2 to be playable. So compared to checklands in our deck, it's pretty bad. I think we might have to play this just because we do really want more dual lands in our deck. But we do have a lot of color intensive cards such as Tralsara, Dramoka's Command, Conclave Mentor, and Voice of the Blessed. Maybe 2 copies of it. And I think I'm actually just gonna cut all the forests here, and we'll go down on 3 copies of Plane. And we'll call this deck Lifegain Scales. Alright, let's take it for a spin. Hopefully the lands are good enough to support the double white that we have in Selesnya. I think this is a keep. Even though we can't play our cards, I mean, it's just a single green source will do, right? Oh man, we need to draw a green source quick. That is a lot of green that I drew when I don't have a single green source. Yikes, 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 yikes. Getting pretty unlucky here. Getting pretty unlucky. I think this is my last turn. If I want to have a chance at even winning. Really? That's not good. Still no lands. That is definitely not good. This will get to flying with Vigilance. Man. Come on, green land, green land. Green land and I win. Green and I win. Yes. Actually, I didn't win. Because opponent has just Para Sentinel. What? They have a blocker. Ooh. I like this hand. I like this hand. Man, a lot of forest today. Just a lot of forest. I might actually go Hardened Scale into Soul Warden next turn. It really depends what happens here. Because if I go Soul Warden, Hardened Scale, this changes things. Okay. Like, it's much safer. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do that. So I'm gonna go Soul Warden into another Soul Warden. And next turn, so I'm getting tons of life. I'm nowhere near dying. And even if they remove something here, I'm fine with it. I'll just go Hardened Scale, Voice of the Blessed. And that'll give me six counters. We'll just take this. And that's fine. We'll play Hardened Scales into Voice of the Blessed. Oh my god. Holy crap. Well, here's the 8/8 that you have to deal with. Oh my god. Is this a keep? I think it is. Although we don't have anything to benefit from having life gain, I do have Hardened Scale into Luminarch Aspirin, which is kind of sick. Looks like we're playing against Niv Mizzet. The fact that we're going second means that we have potentially... Wait, it might not be Niv Mizzet actually. Interesting. Okay. Okay, if this Luminarch Aspirin doesn't die, it's gonna be absolutely insane. Because next turn we have Hardened Scales and Conclave Mentor. Oh my. Not having a removal. That's gonna be... Oh my god, this is gonna be insane. Should I let them draw actually? You know what? Oh, yeah. I have to let them draw anyways. Okay. I think we'll actually pump this. It's a 6/6. Fair enough. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I mean the problem is that it's gonna be kind of hard for me to actually go through this. Hold up. So if I... Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? Oh, order? Order in the court. Whoops. Whoops. Who should I give it to? I do... Like, if I give it to Luminarch Aspirin, it does let me attack this turn. You know what? If you want to kill this, go right ahead. I think they're just gonna chump block, right? I mean, they have to trade there. Yeah. Because they really want to get rid of Luminarch Aspirin right now. But they can't. They simply cannot do that. Because they have to kill this Conclave Mentor. Like, I'm putting a million counters per turn. And, I don't know how opponent survives this. We'll attack with just that, because I do need some blockers. So put that in there. Unfortunately, in our 22 land deck, we kind of flooded. We kind of flooded. Okay, opponent gave up. Ooh. I like this hand. The one-up Ozolith. Kind of sweet. So I do think we're starting with the Veteran into Johnny's Pridemate. And then next turn we'll have Let's see if they actually trade this. Okay. The problem is that they are getting a lot of life here. I think we'll maybe start distributing elsewhere. Man, I'm just so good at getting lands. I wish, hopefully we get, like, Tremoka's Command. Oh my god. What a card. What a card. Okay, so, how do I want to do this? I probably just want to play Tremoka's Command now. I think. So that I can attack. So, I put a counter. Then we'll fight. I'll put the counter here and then we'll fight. And then I think we'll just attack with this. Okay. Can I get Voice of the Blessed? It's pretty strong. Ooh, I don't think I can beat that. I don't think I can beat that. Unless I get like Voice of the Blessed. But I think it's a little bit too late already. Like, I could maybe fight through this, but just because we didn't, like, draw scales, and instead we had Ozolith, which is kind of irrelevant in this matchup. Another one of these. Yikes. I think we start off with this. I think we do need to play this Pathway green. Yeah, we do. We 100% do. I think I'm gonna put some pressure with the Johnny's Bridemaid. And then I'll play Conclave Mentor. Hopefully you get a land. Okay. That is perfectly fine. Hopefully we get a land next turn, maybe? That's pretty strong. That is pretty strong. Still no land. It's gonna be a yikes for me, dog. If I play Aspirin, Johnny's Primate grows to... Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. And then... maybe this? Nah, let's do this. Already 11 damage. And next turn I can just trample a Johnny's Primate. Or give it Hexproof. Because I don't think I'm dying this turn. Oh, dear God. They're gonna play their entire hand this turn. That's pretty lucky. Maybe opponent doesn't know that I play this card. It might not block. Interesting. Okay, that's actually really huge. Where should I put this? 1, 2, 3, 4. If I put this here... I think I won. So because they block. So they can't double block the Ajani's Pridemate. So I should be good. Actually, I might be one short. Because let's say I get trample here. Oh, never mind. I'm way off. That was actually pretty nasty start from them. I want to cut... Okay, I'm gonna cut these. I don't like them. And instead... So I could play Alseed. I think I'm actually gonna play that instead. And I think I'm gonna go up on Ajani's Pridemate. And go down on a Mentor. Okay, let's try this instead. Pretty good hand. I feel like everybody is playing a Lifegain at the moment. It's a pretty good time to be playing something like Aura decks. I'll take that. Because if you're playing Aura, you just jam the Hushbringer in, you'll just win every single game there is.
I was not born in Skyshroud, but I protect we will unleash an autumn of steel leaves.
Let's see. So which way do I have to do first if I want to gain more? So if I do it like this, I gain 2 and then 4. But if I do it like this, I gain 2 and then yeah, this is better. Maybe I'm supposed to play 4 copies of Trilasara. Just because of the scry effect. I think I'll actually keep that. So the plan is, if this grows to 2020, I'll just L-seed and then one-shot them. And I think I won. Yeah. Because now I just... This is why we play Alseed. Look at this card. Okay, I'll see it as literally the greatest addition I've added to this deck.